He has the golden voice that throttled the band Kiss into worldwide success with record sales exceeding over 100 million copies sold, the lead singer of one of the best-selling bands of all time, Kiss. And he has a brand new musical project out called Paul Stanley's Soul Station, the one and only Mr. Paul Stanley. Paul, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesomely. Awesome. Excited. Can't wait to hit your side of the freeway, shall we say.
I love that, Paul. And so, Paul, I know you're doing work, of course, with Kiss, but tell me about this new side project that you're working on, Soul Station. Tell me all about it.
Soul Station is a allegiance of an alliance of 13 really top-flight crackerjack musicians who played with everybody from Stevie Wonder to Smokey to Natalie Cole to John Mayer, you name it. Really, what we're out there doing is creating the live experience of great R&B. Truthfully, everybody right now, and for decades, unfortunately, has been spoon-fed auto-tuned vocals and mechanical music. Some of it samples music that doesn't need to be sampled. It just needs to be heard. What we do is recreate, and that's not a sterile term. I mean, we play with the respect and reverence that the Temptations deserve, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Delphonics, the Stylistics, the list goes on, and we play those songs the way they're meant to be played. Unfortunately, a lot of those acts either, I guess, aren't up to the task for a lot of reasons. Age becomes a factor. We're out there playing those songs like a huge jukebox. I mean, it's meticulous in detail, but it's got an urgency and a vibrancy to it that kind of is lacking, unfortunately, in a lot of music.
Yeah, Paul, I totally agree with you. My godfather is Neil Sedaka, so I grew up with all the 50s and 60s music, the Motown sound of Detroit, and it's that timeless piece of music that's all in its own time capsule.
Oh, when you listen to Motown and Philly soul, that stuff is it's vital to music, and whether you're a fan of the Beatles or whoever, the first couple of Beatles albums covered Please Mr. Postman and You Really Got a Hold on Me and Twist and Shout. Those songs are cornerstones of everything that came after it. I always say, and I'm a huge fan of Led Zeppelin and The Who and people like that. Before I ever saw them live, I saw Solomon Burke, I saw Otis Redding as a kid, I saw the Temptations. When you hear people who are out on tour now saying, well, you know, yes, we sing along with a track and we double our vocals because you can't dance and sing. Usually what it means is you can't sing because a whole lot of people have done it very, very well. So what Soul Station is all about is a bunch of people who just lay it on the line. The last show we did in L.A. was the Roxy, and that was just packed with people singing along. Not because I told them to sing along, but because you can't help it. These songs are in your DNA. So to see a packed house of smiling faces, 13 of those smiling faces are on stage. I mean, we just love doing this. 3 horns, amazing horn players, 3 backup singers, just killer musicians. What we create is a joy for me. It's a bonus that other people love it.
Tonight, you and I are hanging out with Paul Stanley of the band Kiss and also his brand new side project called Soul Station. And Paul, let's go back to that music of your project, Soul Station, back to the 1950s and 60s of all that great Motown sound that was on American radio. And if you could take a trip back in time to when you were growing up, who would you say your best musical mentor was?
Well, interestingly, my influences and my inspirations have been all over the map. I grew up listening to classical music, to Italian opera, to doo-wop, to Dion and the Belmonts, the Capris, the Elegants, then found my way into same music, you know, Eddie Cochran, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and onwards from there, you know, you wound up with the Beatles and the British invasion, and from there it just hardened up, and you got Led Zeppelin and people like that. So, and you got to throw Tony Bennett and a whole lot of other people in there. Look, for me, music is like food. If you eat one kind of food, you get malnourished. You need to try all different things. For me, there's 2 kinds of music, good and bad. My roots are all over the place, and I've always considered myself a singer that sings rock as opposed to a rock singer. I sing rock because I love it and it's a choice, but I've also done Phantom of the Opera. and I've also done, Soul Station and other things. So
Right.
I'm just about going out there and preaching the gospel, and the gospel is music.
So, Paul, after selling over 100 million records worldwide, and after all those great, amazing songs you've written with the band KISS, which one really stands out for you personally? Which one really grabs you in the heart?
Well, as far as a timeless anthem, nothing comes close to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. You play that in a stadium at a sporting event, and everybody sings it. So that's really close to my heart. Love Gun's really close to my heart. Detroit Rock City. When you've written as many songs as I have, it's very hard to whittle it down to one. On a whole nother note, coming to the Coach House is a chance to blow the roof off the place.
Tell me about this great new Rock and Brew restaurant idea that you have been working on with Gene Simmons. I know you guys just opened up a brand new restaurant in San Antonio, Texas, correct?
Rock and Brews has exploded, really. It's a great restaurant in that it pays tribute to the music we've all loved, which is classic rock. But it's not a funeral parlor. We're not. I don't know. You can't compare us to anything else. This is about indoor-outdoor living. It's about a lifestyle. The staff is always awesome. You can bring your pets. You can bring your kids during the day. If you want to go out with your children and have a great meal and not have to eat cardboard macaroni and cheese served by somebody dressed as a rat, this is the place to go. Plus, we have over 80 craft beers and microbrewery beers, and the food is absolutely off the hook. And in the evening, the place just rocks. It's just a great place. We have right now we're in Redondo, El Segundo, Buena Park. We have 2 in LAX in Terminal 1 and Terminal 5, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Albuquerque, 2 in Cabo, Hawaii. They're all over, and we're opening Dallas next. So we couldn't be doing that if it wasn't incredibly, successful, and it's only successful because everything we're doing there is so great.
Paul, I know you're on tour right now with Soul Station, but are you doing some projects with KISS or any solo projects?
Well, we just did a KISS show, big concert this past week, a one-off as we call them, because we're not on tour right now. KISS is always in the forefront. KISS is what drives everything else. That being said, there's great time right now for me to be out there and do Soul Station, and the band, the guys and the women in the band are just chomping at the bit. We love what we do, and when I say we're going to blow the roof off the Coach House, people, who might not know what we're doing would go, really? But it's not rock and roll. It shakes the place. It's as strong and as rhythmic and as heartfelt as anything. So get ready for an amazing night.
And Paul, I can't wait for the amazing night to see Paul Stanley's Soul Station on February 26th at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano. For more information on Paul, go to paulstanley.com. Mr. Paul Stanley of KISS and Soul Station, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.